this video, we will learn how to convert the general equation of a parabola with vertex at h, k to its standard form and vice versa. Similar to our previous video about circle, we will also apply the completing the square method to convert the general equation of a parabola with vertex at h, k to its standard form. When general equation of a parabola of the form cy squared plus dx plus ey plus f equals 0 is converted to standard equation, it will result to either a parabola opening to the right since 4c is positive, or opening to the left since 4c is negative. On the other hand, the general equation of a parabola ax squared plus dx plus ey plus f equals 0 when converted will give us the standard equation of a parabola opening upward if 4c is positive, or opening downward if 4c is negative. Here, h and k are the coordinates of the vertex of our parabola and c is the focal length. Let us express the general equation of a parabola y squared plus 12x plus 2y plus 25 equals 0 to its standard form, so that we can perform completing the square. We need to group our equation according to its variables. I will have group for y. Since 12x and 25 do not have like terms, we will transpose them to the right side of the equation. Transposing positive 12x to the right side will give us negative 12x, while transposing positive 25 to the other side becomes negative 25. In step number 2, we need to make sure that the coefficient of y squared is 1 before we perform completing the square. All good. The coefficient of y squared is 1. We will now perform the completing the square by taking the half of the coefficient of y, which is positive 2. The half of positive 2 is positive 1. Then 1 squared is 1. Now, we will add 1 to both sides of the equation. After the completing the square, we will express the perfect square trinomial in the left side of our equation into a square of binomial. We will use the square of a binomial formula that states that if a perfect square trinomial is of the form a squared plus 2ab plus b squared, then it can also be written as quantity a plus b squared. Since y squared plus 2y plus 1 is of that form, we will use such formula. Since a squared corresponds to y squared, by getting the square root of each side, we will have a equals y. Therefore, our a is y. Now, by looking at the formula and our equation, we know that b squared corresponds to 1, right? Therefore, we can determine the value of b if we get the square root of both sides of the equation. The square root of b squared is b, while the square root of 1 is 1. Therefore, b is equal to 1. The square of binomial of our perfect square trinomial in the left side is quantity y plus 1 squared. Now, we will simplify the right side of the equation by combining like terms, negative 25 and positive 1. Adding them will give us negative 24. In step 6, we will simplify the right side of our equation to easily locate the focal length, which is beneficial when we are asked to graph the parabola. Since both negative 12x and negative 24 are divisible by negative 12, we can rewrite the right side of our equation as negative 12 multiplied by the quantity x plus 2. Therefore, the standard equation of the given parabola is quantity y plus 1 squared equals negative 12 multiplied by the quantity x plus 2. This standard equation is telling us the parabola is opening to the left. Let's have the second example. Here, we will learn how to make the coefficient of x squared equals to 1. This is a very essential step before we can perform completing the square. To change 2x squared minus 12x minus 4y plus 22 equals 0 to its standard form, we will group the equation according to its variables. Since negative 4y is the only term with a y variable, we will transpose it to the other side. This is the same for positive 22. Step 2 requires us to ensure that the coefficient of x squared is 1 before performing the completing the square. Here, the coefficient of x squared is 2. To make it 1, we will factor out 2. Since 2 and negative 12 are both divisible by 2, we will rewrite the left side of the equation as 2 multiplied by the quantity x squared minus 6x. We can now perform the completing the square because the coefficient of x squared is 1. Taking the half of negative 6, the coefficient of x, we will have negative 3. Negative 3 squared is positive 9. I will now add 9 to the left side of the equation and 18 to the right side. I know you are thinking, why 18, right? This is because we factored out 2. Hence, technically, we added 18 also to the left side of the equation. Did you know that this was a common mistake of my previous students? Most of them always forgot have to multiply the resulting value by the common factor of ax squared and bx before adding it to the right side of the equation. We will deal with a lot of these cases in our next chapters about ellipse and hyperbola. Hence, I suggest that you practice how to perform completing the square for these cases. Now, we will express the perfect square trinomial in the left side of the equation to a square of binomial. Since our trinomial is of the form a squared minus 2ab plus b squared, we will use the formula quantity a minus b squared. Since a squared corresponds to x squared, we will get the square root of both sides to get the value of a. Therefore, a is equal to x. Now, b squared corresponds to 9. Getting their square root will lead us to b equals 3. Therefore, the square of binomial of our perfect square trinomial is quantity x minus 3 squared. In step number 5, we will simplify the right side of the equation by combining like terms. Negative 22 plus 18 is equal to negative 4. Now, we will rewrite the right side of the equation to 4 multiplied by the quantity y minus 1, since both terms are divisible by positive 4. We can further simplify our equation by dividing both sides by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 4 divided by 2 is 2. Therefore, the standard equation of 2x squared minus 12x minus 4y plus 22 equals 0 is quantity x minus 3 squared equals 2 multiplied by the quantity y minus 1. By looking at it, we can say we have a parabola opening upward. For our last example, we will learn to bring back the standard equation of a parabola with vertex at h, k to its general form. Let's convert the standard equation of a parabola quantity x plus 2 squared equals negative 8 multiplied by the quantity y plus 5 to its general form. The first thing we will do is to expand the square of a binomial in the left side of the equation. We also have learned how to do this in our previous video. Hence, we will use the perfect square trinomial formula, which is a squared plus 2ab plus b squared, since quantity x plus 2 squared is of the form quantity a plus b squared. Here, a is x and b is 2. We will substitute these values to the formula. We have quantity x squared plus 2 multiplied by x multiplied by 2 plus quantity 2 squared. Simplifying it, we will have x squared plus 4x plus 4 as the expanded form of quantity x plus 2 squared. The second thing we will do is to apply the distributive property of multiplication to the right side of our equation. Negative 8 multiplied by y is negative 8y. Negative 8 multiplied by 5 is negative 40. In step 3, we will equate our equation to 0 by transposition method, or you can also apply addition property of equality. Transposing negative 8y to the left will result to positive 8y. Transposing negative 40 will become positive 40. Now, since positive 4 and positive 40 are like terms, we will combine them. They are equal to positive 44. Now, the general equation of the given parabola opening downward is x squared plus 4x plus 8y plus 44 equals 0. Just a gentle reminder, all steps presented in this video are just suggested steps. If you came across a faster or easier way to do the conversion, you are free to follow it. That's the beauty of mathematics. Did you find this video helpful? For more SEEKnaYan videos, please subscribe to my channel by clicking the subscribe button below and activating the notification bell. I'll see you all again in the next episode of SEEKnaYan. Problema sa SEEKnaYan, isik mo na yan kay Migo Mendoza.